Jim Morrison's troubled history. Jim Morrison, the quintessential rock vocalist, combined striking looks and poetic expression, embodying the rock and roll essence. His journey, from stardom to his untimely death, exemplified the live fast, die young mantra. Morrison's entrance into the infamous 27 Club underscored a life marked by both remarkable talent and personal turmoil. Despite his status as a rock icon, his life was a complex tale of brilliance and self-destructive tendencies. Exploring Morrison's legacy involves understanding the forces that shaped him and the challenges he faced, painting a picture of a troubled yet influential figure in rock music. Jim Morrison consumed an excessive amount of alcohol. Jim Morrison was celebrated for his music but struggled with alcoholism, a fact highlighted by Jeff Weiss from LA Weekly. His bandmates and record label representatives frequently discussed his challenging relationship with alcohol. Doors keyboardist Ray Manzarek and drummer John Densmore noted that Morrison's drinking caused conflicts and affected his health, particularly during the production of LA Woman in 1971. Despite his creativity, Morrison's condition worsened, leading to regular unconsciousness in the studio by the time of The Soft Parade in 1969. Jack Halsman of Elektra Records also recalled Morrison's preference for alcohol over food after completing LA Woman. Jim Morrison's numerous legal issues. Jim Morrison, celebrated as a quintessential rock rebel, notably encountered legal issues and was arrested 6 times. His legal troubles began in 1963 following a disruptive drunken episode at a football game, escalating to him stealing from a police car. Morrison's run-ins with the law grew more severe over time, including a shocking 1966 incident where he falsely claimed to have murdered a peer and engaged in a scandal involving a minor. Despite the serious charges, including sexual assault, his alleged victim's reappearance led to his release. His rising rock stardom saw further arrests for public intoxication and indecency, fitting the wild lifestyle of the Lizard King. The incident of March 1969. Jim Morrison, the Doors frontman, became infamous for a 1969 Miami concert where his actions led to legal charges, indecency and public profanity among them. The controversy captivated critics like Rolling Stone's John Burks and fans alike. Morrison, known for performing under the influence, allegedly exposed himself, causing an uproar and potential jail time. However, he never served time as he passed away before his appeal concluded. His legacy remained controversial until 2010, when he received a posthumous pardon from Florida's Governor and Clemency Board, clearing his name of the charges from that night. This final act added a closure to the chapter of Morrison's life that was marked by his wild onstage antics and legal battles, ensuring he remembered more for his art than his court battles. A face full of mace for the Lizard King. Jim Morrison, legendary frontman of The Doors, became infamous for his legal troubles, perhaps most notably for being the first rock star arrested mid-concert. This occurred on December 9, 1967, in New Haven, Connecticut. The incident started with Morrison in a backstage romantic escapade, leading to a confrontation with a police officer who maced him after a cheeky retort. Despite the officer apologizing and the delayed start of the concert, Morrison lambasted the police during the performance. His remarks led to the concert's abrupt end and his arrest, alongside the arrest of 13 others, marking a notorious moment in rock history. Jim Morrison's troubled relationship with Nico. In 1967, during the Summer of Love, Jim Morrison and Nico, a key figure from the Velvet Underground, met in New York and quickly fell for each other. Their bond sparked interest and collaboration, but Morrison's ongoing relationship with Pamela Courson complicated matters. Courson's response to Morrison's infatuation was to see someone else openly, leading Morrison to leave for Los Angeles abruptly, ending things with Nico without a proper goodbye. Their relationship, strained by Morrison's unfaithfulness and further marred by substance abuse and volatility, was tumultuous. Despite their deep connection and Nico's desire for marriage, Morrison was not ready for such a commitment. Morrison vs. Densmore. John Densmore, the Doors drummer, had a complicated relationship with Jim Morrison, which was marked by intense disputes that led Densmore to skip Morrison's funeral and shun his grave for years. Despite calling Morrison a lunatic and a psychopath and even briefly leaving the band to avoid him, Densmore's feelings were complex, rooted more in frustration with Morrison's self-destructive behavior than personal animosity. Over time, Densmore moved from resentment to a protective stance on Morrison's legacy, engaging in legal battles to preserve the Doors' music authenticity. Reflecting on his bond with Morrison, Densmore acknowledges a persistent spiritual connection, indicating a deep, albeit tumultuous, bond transcending their conflicts. Jim Morrison may have tried to set his girlfriend on fire. Jim Morrison and his girlfriend, Pamela Corson, had a pretty turbulent relationship. In fact, as photographer Bobby Klein told The Guardian in 2018, things once got quite literally heated. According to Klein, Corson turned up at his door late one night and told him and his wife a horrifying story. Morrison had forced her in a closet and set it on fire. As the story goes, Jim Morrison was not a fan of heroin, and he had found out that Corson had the drug and had also been sleeping with her supplier. As such, Klein speculates that the closet on fire incident may have been the Doors singer's strange attempt to frighten Corson to stay away from heroin. Regardless of the truth behind the situation, Klein eventually relayed the story to director Oliver Stone, who decided to include it in his Val Kilmer starring biopic, The Doors. Jim Morrison's life-changing traffic collision. Jim Morrison, as depicted in the Doors movie and confirmed by biographies, was deeply affected by a tragic incident in his early life. At about 5, he witnessed a car accident in New Mexico involving a truck and several Native Americans. Although young Morrison initially misinterpreted the scene's gravity, his parents' reactions instilled a profound sense of fear in him. At this moment, he had a lasting impact, influencing the lyrics of Peace Frog with vivid imagery. However, it's noted that some family members believe Morrison may have later exaggerated the incident's severity. Jim Morrison, Pam Corson, and infidelity. Jim Morrison, the iconic Lizard King, and Pamela Corson led a life full of passion, creativity, and tumult. Their love story began when Morrison was 22 and Corson 19, maintaining its intensity until Morrison's death at 27. As artistic souls, they shared a deep connection despite a rocky relationship marked by arguments, drug use, and infidelities, including Morrison's affair with Patricia Kenneally. Morrison's bond with Corson remained central to his life despite his liaisons. Theirs was a partnership that highlighted both the beauty and chaos of living on the edge, embodying the true spirit of their era. His final performances were catastrophic. By 1970, Jim Morrison, once a rock icon, struggled profoundly with alcoholism, becoming unrecognizable with his weight gain and beard. Sterling Whitaker highlighted Morrison's diminished stage presence, leading to an unforgettable moment on December 12 in New Orleans, his last performance with the Doors. Morrison often forgot lyrics, tried to cover with a long joke, and during Light My Fire, needed the mic stand for support, eventually sitting out the rest of the song. His erratic actions peaked when he smashed the mic stand, exiting the stage prematurely, signaling the end of the Doors' live performances. The death of Jim Morrison. Jim Morrison, famous for his tumultuous life marked by the excesses of rock stardom, faced a tragic end in Paris in 1971. At just 27, he was found dead in his bathtub by Pamela Corson, his significant other, with heart failure officially cited as the cause. Yet, Morrison's demise remains shrouded in controversy and speculation. Marianne Faithfull, in a 2014 interview, implicated his dealer, Jean de Breteuil, in his death by providing fatal substances. Additionally, theories suggest Morrison might have faked his death to escape the spotlight, adding to the mystique surrounding the end of the Lizard King.